More downside, more up than down. So you think probably T-Sean continuing with this channel, right? Something like this. Okay. More downside movement, either sideways or to the downside. Okay, so a lot more bearish sentiment here rather than bullish. So I'll see your answers kind of come in. I'm kind of a different. I wouldn't say, yeah, I agree, there's no signs. I agree, but also, I mean, we had stimulus down here, I guess, but really for this push, was this fundamentally valid? I'm not too sure, but from my perspective, again, this is probably a little sneaky hunch from this kind of complex corrective. We have had a decent drop. Now, again, I'm not saying market's going to push on. I'm actually probably with who said it? Upside then down. Who said that? I can't remember. But yeah, maybe something like this. But I also would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if this pushed on. For the past 96 years, obviously this SPX500 has been long. Okay, historically 10 to 11%, and we have had a decent drop. Whether everything negative in the world right now is now priced in, we'll have to kind of wait and see. So for me, one of the patterns I do like is kind of impulse, loss of momentum, harder reset. And we do have a slight, if I zoom in on this chart so you guys can see a bit better, apologies. Here we go. So we do have some volume coming in at the bottom of structure here, or possibly bottom of C wave, right? So, for me, I am looking, intraday or for the next few days, certainly a bit of movement upwards in the stock market. Now that can technically be classed as a pullback, yes, okay, but I just have a sneaky suspicion that maybe we are priced in now on this complex corrective. We have had a decent drop, remember. We have had a decent drop. I agree, fundamentally, should this push on? No, probably not. But from a technical perspective, it might not look too bad. Might not look too bad. So I agree that, this area is probably key with the SPX. We're looking likely that we come up and retest possibly around this 20, and the probable scenarios we continue within this impulse corrective, and we continue on down, right? That's what the technicals is telling me. However, I just have a sneaky suspicion from that weekly chart that maybe we could be in a position to possibly rally, possibly. So from a personal standpoint, I put a little bit more money into the investment wise. Here, I think this is a good position. I also put a little bit more in here. Put a bit more here. I'm basically just buying up this index as we go along. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Today's comments from Powell might catalyze to the downside or a possible flip. Yep, Brian. Yep. Wait for the market's reaction to the news rather than the news itself, right? This is what I kind of usually say. I'm not smart enough to analyze all that stuff. I just go with what the market and what the technicals are telling me, because technical analysis, what is known in the market, or everything that is known in the market, is reflected in current price, and that's kind of good enough for me. What if it's a 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern for SPX and continue down? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, technicals are saying down. Okay, we can't get away from that fact. So just from the way that I'm looking at it, with a decent bit of volume coming into that weekly chart, there's an argument there. That's all I'd say. There's an argument there. Again, bit of volume coming in here on potential C wave. It has been a decent corrective. So let's see. But what I do have is a potential setup in the SPX, which I'm looking at. So on the 4-hour chart for a potential next few days, possible upside movement. We got our head and shoulders, V reversal in here, broken through structure, broken decently, and we're currently in retesting phase. So this is our 4-hour downtrending anchor for me. So we have broken through that, which technically, does that, possibly mean a change in trend on the 4-hour? It's not really confirmed yet until we get some real, bullish pressure here. But on this 1-hour chart, and this is probably my pick of the US session right now, is I like this. So for me, higher time frame confluence is obviously quite big, right? And I have that within the weekly, and I have that within the 4-hour. Daily is not as nice, but I can kind of make do with the weekly and 4-hour right now. And I've got my kind of favorite cup with handle within a cup with handle, our 3 structure increase in pressure towards this area, okay? And we've broken through. So what I'm looking for now with my breakout retest is I like 2 types, one of which is the ABC. and the second of which is my steady state retest. And it looks to be at the moment, this index is in this second one. So our steady state, we're not getting anything here that is really worrying me. We look to be just making our way or trundling our way back to this previous resistance, potentially becoming new support. But not only do we have that, we look at where the moving averages is, right? So these moving averages are periods of dynamic support to me. So I've got the 200 here and the 20. 20 I use as a visual guide to kind of get me into trends at the right time. So I'm looking for this to come here and then getting my reason to enter. So my catalyst, my simple chart patterns, my inverted hammer, my bullish engulfer, morning star, whatever it is, just something that the market tells me wants to push upwards, i.e. this retest is successful. And ideally, this catalyst comes on increasing volume. So this is really my pick of the bunch today. I will go through the other ones I'm looking at. But if this index can make its way, not only will we have previous resistance becoming potentially new support, we'll also have dynamic support in the form of that 200 and form of that 20, and that intraday and smaller time frame kind of change in trend from this 4 hour. So I think that's a play that if I get involved in it, if I get something that I like, in terms of our catalyst, I would certainly take that because I think there's something there. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for the SPX. Any thoughts on USD Cad? Yeah, I'll do the charts you want me to look at after I finish my watch list. What C wave can someone help? Manish, I'll have to do a workshop on ABC. It's probably too much to explain right now. But this is my watch list today. Obviously, I'm a London session trader, so some of these are not valid anymore. SPX is still there, as I just talked about. Pound New Zealand is gone. But another one that I am looking at is USD Mexican, which obviously may be gone. Jake, this is the SPX500 SPY. So I was looking at USD Mexican, but unfortunately, just over the last few hours, this is unfortunately gone. So I'll show you what I was looking at so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm trading, and then I'll go through the open trades that I currently have. But from a higher time frame confluence, I was looking at this daily here, this daily area that we were at, to be quite key. Because we go from impulse, corrective, essentially corrective, breakthrough. We've created our daily anchor to this corrective here. Not a very good line, but here. And I'm looking for price to break through that. So I was looking at this 4 hour chart, which unfortunately has broken through my key area to kind of give us our basing structure, which it did. But it needed to kind of come up. So a potential short entry in here and a potential break to the downside. But unfortunately, as with my entry criteria, some of them just go, unfortunately. So, yeah, really, really for me today, guys, it's just that SPX that I'm mainly looking at. And I think that is a nice trade if we do get something there. I'm currently in 2 trades. I'm in a pound Aussie long. This one in here. Hey, Ryan, what are the best pairs to look through the London session and how many hours into the London? Okay, how many hours? You always kind of, depending on your strategy, you always kind of have your favorite or non-favorite pairs. My personal favorites are Swiss yen, my favorite by far. I like the Kiwi dollar. I like the USD ZAR. Those are probably my 3 favorites just because they seem to work well with my strategy. So you'll kind of get that market characteristics and you'll kind of have a feel of what pairs are kind of good for your particular strategy. So CJ for me as a breakout trader and breakout retest trader kind of moves quite well. Same with Kiwi dollar, same with USD ZAR. As breakouts and breakout retests, they move quite well. The CAD, for example, is not very good for my strategy. So it depends, and as you go on and get a little bit more experienced, you'll notice pairs that you do kind of like and pairs that you possibly don't like, or individual currencies that you don't like. It's just called market characteristics.
What's up, traders? We're looking for more people to join our free Discord channel for Forex traders. Inside, you'll get our weekly watch list. You'll see trades that we're taking with full breakdowns and explanations, and so much more. Join us by clicking the link, and we'll see you inside the Discord.